Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with my colleague BIDHAN, and tonight we're going to be talking about unraveling the mysteries of a Strata report, what to look out for, and how to actually understand what's going on. Stay tuned. Good evening, BIDHAN.
Good evening, Michael.
How you going?
Very good, actually.
That's good.
Excited.
Guys, yeah, BIDHAN's first night on Novak News.
Yeah.
Very exciting, guys. And tonight's a really good topic for anyone out there looking to purchase. With so many units on the northern beaches, understanding Strata reports.
Very tricky one.
It is. And there's so many pitfalls when looking at Strata, understanding what's going on. And I think for a lot of people out there looking to, especially BIDHAN will know as well, dealing with a lot of the buyers now, it's confusing.
It is.
So what we're finding is when buyers are looking at Strata reports, I guess having a bit of base knowledge to be able to read them, understand them, is super useful, especially considering most people, when you look at it, it almost looks like another language.
Yeah.
So BIDHAN, what's some of the common questions you find some buyers ask you when they're looking at Strata reports?
Well, do I have to buy it every time? Like, can we provide the Strata report to them?
Yep.
Or do we have to buy it every time from every property?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
So guys, when you're looking at a property, most agents will have a Strata report ready for you to be able to order. That, however, is not mandatory. So an owner does not actually have to provide a Strata report for buyers. A buyer can obviously order it themselves through their solicitor as well. However, most times agents will have it available. Now, most of these companies will normally just charge a small fee to be able to order it, and will normally charge even a bit extra for the person who successfully buys the property. But the truth of it is, yes, you do. You have to order it for each individual property that you're looking at. So normally we say, obviously, if you're serious on a property, that's when you want to look at a Strata report. If you're just buying it for every single property that you're looking at, if you're not even that interested, it adds up.
That definitely adds up. Definitely.
Go on. What other questions do you get asked?
Next, like, all the histories are in Strata report, probably. Like,
yes,
all the works that have been done in the building. So, like, it's very important.
Yes.
Right. So all the levies and all the details will be in the report, or
yes,
will the agent provide you all the details?
Great question. Yeah. So all the details to do with the Strata are going to be in that report. Okay. The agent will normally be able to give you a bit of a brief rundown with it, but I guess the nitty gritty as a buyer, you want to see it in the black and white exactly what the report contains. Most of the time, an agent will be able to run you through, I guess, the hot topics to do with it, with that Strata report, and then you go through, you do your due diligence and make sure. Now, some of the hot topics that we commonly get asked about, and things that also as a buyer I'd recommend looking out for. First one that comes to top of mind is the fire upgrades. So a lot of people aren't familiar with it, but a lot of these buildings that have been built around the northern beaches are 1965 to 1975, older buildings for a lot of the units around. And most of these guys here over the past few years, if they haven't already, they're about to go through it, which is doing their fire upgrades. And that means putting in a hydrant out the front if it's needed, fireproof doors, putting in smoke alarms, balustrading, lots of different things to upgrade the building. And that's a big thing that a lot of people are undergoing because it costs money.
Definitely.
and it's not a cheap thing for blocks to go through. And so when you're looking at a block that's already had the fire audit done and they're up to scratch with it, that's a big tick because obviously it's going to save a lot of money. Or if they haven't done it yet, then you want to factor in, well, look, it could cost the block X amount. It's more expensive or cheaper depending on each block, what it's going to cost in the future, because you just need to be able to factor that in for when you're buying a property.
Definitely.
And the truth of it is, BIDHAN, no Strata's perfect.
Yeah, of course. There's always something.
Correct. Every time a buyer's looking to buy a property, they're looking for the perfect Strata.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. And so that's the thing where most people are looking for something that doesn't. Every single block's got something going on with it. What's something you find most people tend to ask you, like, if they want to know something about a block?
Yeah, they would mostly be keen about, is there any upcoming works?
Yes.
Or was there any major works done?
Yeah.
Because they want to know what the property has been through.
Yeah.
And if the big major work coming, they don't want to, they're a bit back off a little.
Yeah.
They're a bit conscious about it.
Yeah.
So
No, that's true. And
That's
so,
true, yeah.
yeah, and that's great to know. So you want to know what works are coming up to it. So in a block, there's approved works and there's proposed works.
Mhm.
So approved works is something that the committee's met up on. They say we're going to do this to the block. It's going to cost this much. We've done these quotes. This is what we're accepted, and this is what we're going to do. And now they might pay that out of the sinking fund,
Yes.
or they might raise a special levy for it. And a little bit of context for those out there that aren't as familiar. When you're looking at a strata report for a building, there's going to be an admin fund and a sinking fund. So your strata levies, let's say $1,000 a quarter, $700 of that might go towards the admin fund, which is like the month-to-month runnings of the block that they're constantly spending money on, and $300 might go towards the capital works fund or the sinking fund. And pretty much what that money is there for is the bigger ticket expenses that come up, but they're not regular. So whether that be upgrade works to a block, remedial works to a block, fixing something that doesn't come up every month, that's what that goes towards. And so as a buyer, you want to know, well, what upcoming works are there, and are they more than what we've got saved up?
Yes.
Because if it is, then they have to raise a special levy.
Definitely. Yeah, I think all these things are very important. Like if you're buying a house for the first time,
Yes.
like it could be overwhelming as well. And you've got to pick your battles, like which strata report you want to go through,
Correct.
and which one you want to fix up.
Yeah.
Basically.
Exactly. Because what we find is I've noticed with a lot of buyers, someone that's fresh into the marketplace, just started looking, especially first-time buyers, they'll read the first strata report on the property they're looking at, and then they'll run 100 miles. They'll freak out, go, oh, there's this wrong and this wrong and this wrong. And then sometimes they come back 10 properties later, looking at other properties, and they look at a new one with me, and they go, oh, every strata report's got something in there.
Exactly.
And it's almost within reason. You almost got to sort of pick your poison and which one are you happy to go ahead with. The biggest thing is you just want to understand what's going on in the block, because there is no such thing as a perfect block, but some are in better condition than others. Some are in better financial position than others. And so being able to understand these reports, look at these things here and make sure, is there enough money coming in to what's going out? And also, are these works going to be ongoing? Or is it one of those things when they fix it, then it's done? So these are all things you've got to try and take into account.
Very much. It's very important.
Yeah. So, guys, actually, also after this as well, we'll get people to pop in their comments for anyone that's interested with it. But what we'll find is there's the money side of things, and then there's also what is actually happening to the block. So, for example, there might be heaps of works coming up to a block, and this is sometimes where buyers get a little bit, I think, stuck with it, is sometimes they're upgrade works, sometimes they're actually fixing something that's wrong with the block. If a block's got a quote for $100,000 to paint the outside and upgrade the balustrades, it doesn't have concrete cancer, but they just want to upgrade, make the height a bit taller, make it nice stainless steel and frosted glass, for example, that's an upgrade to the block. And so what you'll find is that's something that's going to add value to it. Yes, it's costing you money, but it's something that's actually going to put you in better stead, correct, in the future. Versus sometimes we'll sell a block with, for example, concrete cancer in the balcony, and the money going into it is not adding value, but it is fixing something that there's an issue to make it obviously better in the future for people. Overall, upgrades are great. Remedial works for the block, not as good, but sometimes there's opportunity.
Yes.
So to give you guys an idea, we've got one on the market at the moment, a particular unit. It does have concrete cans in the balconies right now, and of course, it's going to be at a discounted price.
Yeah,
Exactly. So what you'll find is, so some buyers, you can always go, look, the work's going to cost me 30 grand. I would have paid X amount for the property, but I'll take off 30 grand for that as well.
Yes.
And you can actually save yourself and get yourself a bit of a bargain.
Yeah, that would be a great bargain.
Yeah.
As soon as people say there's some problem, they back off.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, like if they subtract the amount they're going to pay, it's like a great value.
Correct, exactly. And if it's a finite amount, like once they've fixed it, it's done. Most people are scared of it. There's actually opportunity with it as well. So just really being able to understand that, I think, is very, very important. What's another big question that you get asked from people looking at
Those are the main ones, like any upcoming works that
Yep.
has their measure up and down. Those are the most crucial ones, I
Yes.
guess. But yeah, that's
Perfect.
pretty much what I've been dealing with.
The other one that I find as well is when people ask how much are the strata levies. Sometimes you get blocks that are more expensive with strata levies, and they go, oh, no, don't want to touch it. Or they're cheap with strata levies. They go, oh, yes, I want that one. You've got to be careful. With all the stuff we've run through already so far, and you can see it, you've got to dig into why those levies are at that price. And the reason why is just because a block has expensive strata does not make it inherently a bad block. And just because it's cheap strata does not make it good. A cheap strata block might actually have no savings, and a lot of work coming up. And so if that's the case, then you're going to be up for a big special levy.
Exactly.
Versus there might be a block with high levies, but they actually have a lot of savings. And so when the works come up in the block, they don't need to raise special levies, and they've already got the money saved away. So on the surface, it may not be as it appears initially. You really got to do the digging with it. A good agent should be able to, as I said at the beginning, coach you through, explain part of that strata. But then it's your job as a buyer to do your due diligence and really run into the depth of that report.
Yes, that is very good. Good one, Mike.
Any other questions, BIDHAN?
That's pretty much it from my side.
Very good. So we got some comments here. It's useful, isn't it? Sienna, Strata reports are vital. How are you going, Brendan? And then harmony in the block is the thing to be most aware of. 100%. So guys as well, so you got the money side of things, and then you've got harmony in the block as well. So a Strata report will also show a prospective buyer if there's been any disharmony in the block. So if there's been any issues between owners in there as well. So that's important to look into also, because sometimes it doesn't just come down to the dollars and cents. Unfortunately, like anything in life, you can't choose your family or your neighbours. You can choose your friends.
Yes.
But as much as you can. And also when you're looking at it as well, go door knock your neighbours. See who lives in the block as well. And it's a great way to find out some additional information at night, not even just being the report. So guys, any questions anyone has on top of, look, there's so much we could have covered. There's more stuff than what we just went through tonight. But please pop the comments in below, because we will be manning those. And we're happy to reply to everyone privately as well on all the different channels that this is posted out to tonight to answer those questions about Strata. We're here to help. As I said, your agent's there to run you through it.
All you got to do is ask the right questions.
Correct.
Because there's a lot of them happening. So the agents have all the knowledge. You just got to ask.
You got to ask the questions, review the report yourself. There are no silly questions. Go through it, have your solicitor look at it as well. But I think it's just useful to have some of that knowledge there to at least get the start, because obviously spending your money on your solicitor reviewing it costs a lot each time. So to have at least that general idea, to get an idea, is this something I want to take further or not? It's very, very useful.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Thanks, BIDHAN.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
have a good evening. Cheers.